Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the third and final workshop of my money trauma workshop series. So for the first session, we talked about money trauma, second session, abundance, now investing, which is, I can say, maybe the physical act of what we've learned from the past two sessions. And I'm excited because today we have a special guest joining us. So Gabby Cerezo is a financial coach for women of color. So I'm so excited to have her here today to co-facilitate together. And she's going to introduce herself in a bit. And I'll go ahead and start with myself first. Some of you have seen this slide, so I'll go through it really quickly. Many of y'all know why I'm here. I'm passionate about our community, the first gen BIPOC community, to thrive and reach their goals beyond self-limiting beliefs, which means beyond white supremacy, beyond capitalism, beyond oppression. And I'm really dreaming of a world where we can just thrive and make an impact together. So many of you here in this space, not only are you first-gen professionals, you're also change makers, leaders, advocates, and I love that. In my work, I've successfully coached 100 plus. Now it's 150 plus, so I'm gonna change that number of y'all for the past 3 years to really pursue fulfilling careers, align with opportunities that honor your identity and values, advocate for yourself in the workplace, and or start an initiative business of your own. So anything related to careers, I love coaching you towards that while also acknowledging what your authentic power is and not giving up on your identity. I started this money trauma workshop series because I am a certified facilitator in the trauma of money method, which is an online course for coaches, teachers, healers, etc., to learn how to talk about money in a way that feels safe, empowering, and that we can make empowered money choices. And unpacking money trauma led me to where I am right now. I would not be here today if I didn't invest, if I didn't navigate my money trauma, if I didn't think in abundance. So I'm literally here because I've navigated my money trauma. And I will pass to Gabby.
Hi, I'm Gabby. Like Arianna said, I'm a financial coach specializing in helping women of color. And I really just want money to feel empowering, especially for women of color, because I know money can feel scary. You can feel really alone when you're dealing with your money. And that's like everything that I went through. The whole range of emotions describes my journey to unpacking my own money trauma. And I think that it's surprising for people because I am a certified practitioner in the trauma of money method, just like Arianna was describing. I'm a certified financial planner and I'm an accredited financial counselor, but just because I know so much about money, that doesn't mean that I don't have money trauma myself. So thankfully, Arianna told me about the trauma of money method, and that's how I underwent that journey myself. And so now I've created this three-phase coaching process to help strengthen your money mindset, really look at not just the technical side of things, but also yes, we can have a budget, but also let's talk about how it feels and struggling through having a budget. And then beyond that, once we work on all of the basics, then we get into optimizing your finances. So how do I read my paycheck? What does my tax return mean? Things like that. So yes, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah. Honestly, y'all, I would not be here today if it wasn't for Gabby. Gabby is also my personal finance coach. So I'm not only bringing her here because she's an amazing person, but also she has helped me personally as well. So thank you so much for being here, Gabby. I'm sure people are excited to meet you, see you, learn from you. And then we can go ahead and start with community agreements. So these are just rules and expectations to make sure that we can learn and be empowered in this space. This specific workshop is being recorded for educational purposes. Show up as brave as you have the capacity for. What that means is there are going to be moments where I'm going to ask for participation, and however you feel is the best way you can show up, I honor that, whether that's showing your face or even just participating in the chat. You're going to have moments where we're going to show up bravely. So for the most part, a lot of what we're going to talk about here is education and coaching. We are in a collaborative space, so we all have something unique and important to offer. So if there's something you want to contribute to the conversation, please do so. We are not experts, but really we are facilitators who want y'all to engage. When you are speaking about an experience, use I statements so you're not generalizing a specific community. If you are going to respond, listen to understand first before responding. So generally just respecting what's being shared here. What you see in front of you is called the polyvagal theory. And this is a theory that describes how our nervous system reacts to stress, anxiety. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because ideally for today's session, I would love for us to be in the ventral vagus section. So that's the section all the way to the right where you see two people saying hi to each other. Because when we're talking about money, I want to make sure that we are feeling calm, aligned, collected. And I'll go through each of these specifically. So again, the ventral vagus, the one at the very right, this is the optimal point we would like to be. This is where we feel confident, we feel calm, we feel like we want to engage. However, if you are experiencing maybe something that could be pressuring, you could then be in the sympathetic section. So that's the one all the way to the left, the red one. Thank you, Gabby, the fight or flight. And when you are in this state in your nervous system, you're feeling anxiety. So this looks like increased heart rate, some tension in your body, maybe you're overthinking. So being in the sympathetic is related to feeling anxious. Or if you're feeling triggered, you may be in dorsal vagus, which is in the middle. That is shut down, collapse free. So if there is something that maybe triggered you today, you may not be in the capacity to participate. And again, when you're in dorsal vagus, it's almost like your body can't really function as much and you're just still. So your nervous system is in either of these sections. And it's good to reference this too, because you can always ask yourself at any moment in time, where am I? Am I in the ventral vagus? Am I in sympathetic? Or am I in dorsal vagus? So in an attempt for all of us to be collected as much as we can, being grounded as much as we can, let's go ahead and do a really quick breathing exercise. I know that many of y'all maybe finished work today, or it's just a long day in general. So let's move from either sympathetic or dorsal vagus, and let's go to our ventral vagus. All right, so we can just stop sharing the screen for a bit so we can be present with each other. And in this breathing exercise, I'm just going to ask us to take 3 big breaths together, and I will guide the breaths. I will count the breaths. So just listen to my instructions, and we will go ahead and do this together. So wherever you are, find a comfortable place. Maybe adjust how you're sitting. Maybe you want to lay down. Whatever you want to do, just sit with what feels comfortable with you. I want you to feel the ground, whether your body is fully down or maybe your feet's on the ground. I just want some part of you to feel grounded. Take a moment to just stay in this position. And if you haven't done so already, you can start closing your eyes. Let's just feel this present moment. We're all in here together. We're all in community, wanting to learn about investing. And that's such a powerful, powerful action for all of us to take. So we are here together. Let's breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3. Release through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Let's do that again. Big breath in. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. And release through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. One more. Big breath in. 1, 2, 3. Hold right there. 1, 2, 3. Release through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. And take a moment to just get situated with your breath, whatever tempo it is. And when you're ready, you can slowly start opening your eyes. But you don't have to look at the screen yet. Maybe look at what's above you. What do you see? What's to the left of you? What's to your right? What's on the ground? And now we can be here centered together. And I hope that, even something as doing a breathing exercise, especially in community, although we don't see each other, like we can feel each other's energy, can ground you to know that you are safe, you are here right now, and we're ready, we're excited to learn.
I am very excited to talk with you all about what investing looks like in our everyday lives. And again, because I come from the world of finance, I think people always jump to like, oh, investing in the stock market or investing in a bond or something. But really, when we're looking at investing holistically, it looks like so many things. It looks like seeking knowledge, investing in learning, gathering and building assets. So yes, it does look like investing in the stock market, but there's so many other things we can do to invest in ourselves, in our community, in our futures. So, like reading books, that's investing in yourself and in other people, because you are making yourself better so that you can go out in the world and do better and help other people. And same thing with investing and learning. I've learned so much from just investing in coaching. I spent thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours becoming a certified financial planner, doing the trauma of money certification, because I really am driven to help people around their money. And it's led me to so many opportunities, like being here with all of you right now. Something else that really helps me stay grounded in my ventral vagus is investing in a hula dancing class. So you can think of investing in so many different ways in your life. It's not just, oh, there's only one way to do investing, and if I'm not putting my money in the stock market, that means I'm not investing. That's not true. Another really fun example that I wanted to share is investing back into your community and your people. So I have this beautiful candle, and like I could have gone to TJ Maxx or something and bought like a $10 candle, which is totally fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I was at like a craft fair and I saw a Filipino woman selling these candles, and they're like specific to like the Asian identity. So this one's like calamansi scented, and this candle was like $40. And I was like, ooh, feels like a lot for a candle, but I was excited to invest back into like my people. So I'm not saying that you should feel like, oh, I can't go to TJ Maxx and buy a candle. That's not my point at all. My point is like, think of how we can invest in each other and invest back into the people that we care about. So there's many, many different ways to invest. And I'll pause here and see if Arianna wants to share any investing examples from your own life.
Yes. I think an example that I do want to share, which I know many of us are thinking of, is like, a Roth IRA and your own retirement. Truthfully, I didn't start these investments until I worked with Gabby 2 years ago. So I'm still like, I would say I'm relatively new in this. I'm still learning. And a big part of why I'm investing in that is because like, I want money to work for me. I don't want to work for money. And when we live in a capitalistic system that reminds us that like we need to always listen to money, it's really revolutionary to think like you can have money work for you. And that's something that I've learned from you for sure. But I've always invested in like the pursuit of what it means to be a human. So I always invest in experiences. I always invest in vacations. I just invested to go to Vietnam later this year. It was more like, I'm going to do it. I know that this will bring me a lot of joy. I know this will connect me to other communities that I can learn from. And also like you have money to serve you, not just to sit somewhere for a sense of safety. Sometimes, you know, having a sense of safety might be sacrificing like what you could actually give to yourself to make you feel safe, you know, in the long run. Not even just make you feel safe, feel empowered, feel joy, which we all have the privilege to feel.
Really, I want to share this, like what investing looks like, because I know investing feels scary to a lot of people, especially first gen, like people of color, like it feels scary. But I want you to know you probably already are investing. You are investing in yourself. You're actively investing right now by being on this webinar because you're learning. So yes, it's valid to feel like it's scary. I think it always is scary, but also know that like you are doing it. Like, good job, even though maybe you didn't know. I think something that comes up for a lot of people that I've talked to is like, how do I know if I'm investing versus just spending on something, especially when it's not like the traditional thing that you think of when you think of investing. And I think it's really important to remember the difference between spending frivolously, mindlessly, unintentionally versus actually investing in something. And I like to tell people to practice discernment, which just means you're exercising good judgment and you're being honest with yourself. So, you know, we don't want to use spending on something as like an excuse, like saying like, oh, I'm investing in XYZ by buying all these things. That might be true, but you just need to make sure that you're being honest with yourself and you're having integrity in that. I think another way to like figure out whether you're investing in something versus just spending on something is whether it brings you back into the ventral vagus or if it's helping you become more abundant in your life.
So good. So you know when you're investing, when one, if something is going to bring you back to your ventral vagus, if something's going to keep you grounded, safe, healed. Number two, if something contributes to your abundance. So that's where our second workshop was helpful. Knowing what's going to help you expand and grow instead of stay stagnant. And then three, when you know it's going to like serve you in the long run. Yes, vagal ventris, abundance, serve you in the long run. When we're also thinking of investing, we need to know the difference between you can't do something versus you won't. And oftentimes I say with my clients, they say they can't do something when really it's because they won't do something. So can't is more physical. Can't means you don't know how to do something. You don't know how to do a task. So that can mean you don't have the skills, the knowledge, or resources to do the task. For example, I can't start an investing account because I don't know where to start. And that's valid. This can't can turn into a can once you know where to start. However, can't usually doesn't turn into can. Sometimes it turns into won't. So when you go to won't, you have made an intentional choice not to do the task. And the won't comes from more of a feeling, not something physical. It's a feeling of not feeling supported, not resourced to do the task. So an example is, I won't start an investing account because it feels overwhelming. So you may know what to do, you may have the resources, but you won't do it because it feels overwhelming. Here is how I would love to give you a framework on your mindset on investing. But first we need to understand a very common coaching framework. This is the most common of common coaching frameworks, which is your thoughts lead to your emotions, which lead to your actions, which lead to your results. So with this framework, Everything that you do starts with what you think, what you believe, what's in your mind. So if we have a weak mindset when it comes to investing, therefore we are not going to invest. But if we have an empowered mindset on investing, then we will invest. So my framework for this is number one, assess if your can't statement is actually a won't statement. So maybe you have some thoughts about like maybe investing in a course. And you say, I can't invest in this course, even though I know it will help me. You can't. But is that actually a can't? Do you actually not have the resources to do it? If you do, but still don't do it, then it's a won't. So the reality is I won't invest in this course because I'm scared of wasting my money, even if I know it will help me. So that's the won't statement. If it is a won't statement, this is where we can start doing like the mindset work. Ask yourself, what resources do you need? So you probably need these three things. I need clarity that this is going to be a good choice. I need to ensure the course is in alignment of my goals. And I need to understand that the return on investment is going to be fruitful for me. So that's fair. This is something you need clarity on. So your won't will become a yes. And now that you know what resources you need, you want to make a plan to actually receive your resources. This is the work to do, I guess, like before investing. It's giving yourself the resources, giving yourself the clarity. So you can get this clarity by asking for testimonials and networking with former students who took the course. So when you're looking at testimonials and when you're asking students, you can really get clarity on, did this really help you in the way that I want it to help me? And then most importantly, number 4, you can take your time when it comes to investing. I'm emphasizing this because investing is something that's not common for our communities often. And even thinking and doing investing can be a trigger to our nervous system. Remember, I don't want you to do something if you're in the sympathetic or the dorsal vagal. I want you to do something when you're in the ventral vagal. So if it means you take your time to assess, perfectly fine. I'll give you an example. Like I said, I only recently started investing in a Roth IRA and retirement 2 years ago. Even though I know I've heard other people do it earlier, I'm not going to let that shame me. I just started and I'm like, well, hey, I started. I just needed the time to feel ready to do it. Another example is I have many clients who work with me now, but they knew about me 2 years ago. So I have clients that I've met like 2020, 2021. Now we're working this year because they needed the time to really sit with, can I do this investment? Am I going to do like the processing, the resourcing work for this to become a yes? But really it's about how can you give yourself the resources? How can you give yourself the clarity so you can feel confident to make an investing choice? And then here's an opportunity for y'all to talk about investing. And actually after this breakout room, we're just going to have Q&A and would love for y'all to just process these questions with each other. What investments have worked for you? And again, we've learned that it can be anything. What investments are you planning to make for yourself? And what investment questions do you still have?